감사합니다.
Since 1992, 2 years after he came to Korea, he has provided pastoral care for the urban poor in Seongnam, Gyeonggi-do Province. In 1993, he established Anna's House, an indoor soup kitchen for dinner meals, the first of its kind in Korea. There, he has been practicing giving ever since. Anna's House provides warm support for the needy, as a soup kitchen for the homeless, as well as a shelter for runaway teenagers. Father Kim Ha-jong has received recognition for his devotion and sacrifice with the Hoan Prize in 2014. On today's Heart to Heart, we will hear about Father Kim Ha-jong, who has been steadily sending a message of hope and love with his good deed over many years. An Italian-born Catholic priest who has become a naturalized Korean citizen. Joining us today is Father Kim Ha-jong, who has been looking after homeless people for almost 30 years here in Korea at Anna's House, which is a soup kitchen and a shelter for homeless people. Welcome to the studio. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting.
Now, we did talk a lot before we actually walked into the studio, but for our viewers that are watching right now, I did mention that you have been in Korea for nearly 30 years. It's been exactly 29 years.
That's right.
You not only received a very meaningful award, but you also had an opening ceremony for a new building for Anna's House. So please tell us about the award that you received. What kind of award was it?
The award I received from the President of Korea. The employees of Anna's House, they work very well. And the volunteer, they do very well. So the name of Anna's House go up, and a representative of them, I was there that day. So I was happy for myself and for them, and for Anna's House also.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now, you do have a great number of supporters, not only across Korea, but all across the globe. And I understand that Anna's House is run on donations as well as government subsidies.
We have 50% support from the government and 50% free donation from people.
I see.
From Korea and also from some friends abroad, Italy, Europe, America also, USA. We have some friends that help us a lot.
Yes. Now, how and where are the donations used? Could you give us some examples?
Of course, for food, we have a soup kitchen where every day 550 people come to eat. We have 4 shelters for teenagers, runaway teenagers, orphan with problems, and they use a lot of money for our programs. We try to have a holistic approach to the problem. Human being is not just a stomach to fill. Is a person with soul, mind, spirit. So we have a lot of programs to help them to recover. Many people think that they stay on the street because there is no work. Why they stay on the streets? They have problems, psychological problem, social problem, character problem, physical problem, economical problem. Try to help them with the programs, help them to recover that situation.
I see.
It's not just give some food, but start a new life. That is what we wish to do.
Yes, there's much more than just providing and serving them free
we
meals.
try.
If we do a search on you, so many pictures of you here and there in articles and interviews, and you always seem to be wearing an apron.
Because I think that is my deep identity. I feel myself, my name is Kim Ha-jong.
Yes.
Kim, because I love Kim Dae-gon Shimurim, the first Korean priest. So I would like to follow him. Ha-jong means servant of God. I arrived in Korea just with the desire to serve the poor people. That is, and to serve them, the first need I found was eating. Every day in my life, from 1 o'clock to 7 is in the soup kitchen. In the evening, a bus go out on the night on the street. In Korea, there are more or less 100,000 homeless people. It's a lot.
Yes.
In Korea, there are more than 200,000 runaway teenagers. So they don't come to us, we go to them. stay with them, play with them, counsel with them, give food, anything they need, we stay on the street.
Wow, that is amazing. I'd like to ask you, so when you actually go out onto the streets to these children, these runaway teenagers, how do they react?
First things, since I'm a foreigner and an old person, the first thing I put hat, modern hat. And when I approach, first of all, we have a uniform and a badge here.
See.
So they identify us very well, clearly. But little by little, you speak with them, they are child, they are children. To live on the street, they need to protect themselves.
Yes.
They put a wall to protect themselves. But if you touch this wall, it's a paper. It's easy to crash. Beautiful children that there are some problems in the family, something like that, they stay on the street. But it's not difficult. Stay with them. And I think just love. If you love, you can feel, and they can feel.
I'm sure they can,
So
yes.
it's not difficult to stay with them on the street. It's beautiful.
Yes. Just watching you speak about love and these children, I really could feel your love. And you're kind of tearing up as well. I should have brought some tissue on the set over here because I have a feeling I'm going to cry today. Now back to how you spend your afternoons. So from 1 o'clock until 7 o'clock, you're usually preparing for the soup kitchen, free meals.
That's right.
So that's nearly 550
Yes, that's
people
right.
usually come to have dinner.
They are not poor people. They are looking for something to eat. They are a human being like us.
Yes.
So recognize them as a human being and keep the tradition, keep the culture. For us is important and for them is important.
Yes.
We do with joy and with love
Yes.
for them.
Oh, wow. So I wonder, I'm sure you get a lot of help from volunteers as well. So how many volunteers actually help out? And who are these volunteers?
Anna's house exists because there are so many generous, nice people. Every day we need about 20, 23 people to run the soup kitchen. By rotation, they come once a month.
Oh.
We have teams, several teams. We have 30 teams actually. And they come once a month working. There is a well-organized that. And because of the generosity, our volunteers,
Yes.
and people are supporting us, Anna's house exists.
Can you tell us about maybe a story, a memorable moment that has to do with serving food to the homeless?
There are so many.
I know
I
there
don't
are.
know. I can say every day what we do before, when everything is prepared, we gather all together, all the volunteers. And what I ask them, from now on until the end, we have to work out of our love, art. Because we can give the best and the most delicious food, but if people doesn't feel love, welcome, there is no meaning. So I ask them, I ask myself also, start to work out of love. That is, greetings very well,
Yes.
welcome them in a warm way to the volunteers. After that, I go out and I greet all the people there. They are queuing.
Yes.
And then bowing, I say, welcome. And after I say, I love you. At the beginning, it was not easy because for Korean people, express feeling is not easy.
That's true, yes.
And I said, if you don't answer to me, I don't give food. So now everybody say, I love you, I love you. And after that, I pass one by one, looking on the eyes contact, give a high five.
High five to each person.
Each person. Say to them, you are a worthy person for me. You are not a poor, come here. You are in the family.
Yes. You know, you give them so much love. And
We try.
Yes, and they are
We
able to
try.
feel your love.
There is a blind person doing that.
Yes.
And when I give a high five, every day I brought in purpose, he give me a candy.
Yes.
A candy put in the hand and give it to me a candy. He cannot speak, he cannot see me, but it's his way to say thank you. It's a way to appreciate what we are doing. So every day I get a candy from this man, and it's really nice and beautiful.
So you have actually kept the candy?
Yeah, he
you
give us so
occasionally-
many. Then, Yeah, and this,
that's very heartwarming. So instead of eye contact, of course, this individual, he gives you a candy each time.
Yeah, he put in the hands a candy, I catch that,
Yes.
and continue to say high five to the others.
Oh, that's a beautiful story. Now let's talk about the various counseling services that you have. So I understand that you offer all different kinds of counseling services.
And the programs we have, beside the dinner, in the same floor we have a shower, we have a barber, and we have clothes. The basic needs for those who stay on the streets, clothes, barber, shower.
Yes.
So if they want, they can go clean. In the second floor, we have Monday, lawyer, service, counseling, for those who have problem. Tuesday, we have a clinic, free clinic. Those who are sick, we give medicines. Wednesday, we have alcohol program formation. Thursday, counseling for those who are looking for a job. And the same building, we have in the third floor a dormitory for homeless people. 30 people are living there.
So it's been a very long time since you actually founded Anna's House. How was it in the very beginning, in the initial years, and how have things changed?
I like Korea. I choose to come to Korea first. As a Catholic priest, according to Jesus' teaching, I want to serve the poor people. So I arrived in Korea with in my heart, Jesus love and poor people loves. I didn't know how to realize that. Little by little, I started a soup kitchen for senior poor people.
Only?
Yes, in 93. From 93 until 98. 98 was the big crisis, economic crisis, IMF crisis.
Yes.
And more than elder people, I realized that on the street there were so many homeless people, unemployed people. So in 98, I started Anna's House. That one. At the beginning, was just give food for 2 days a week. And I was happy. And I asked her, where do you eat tomorrow? Tomorrow I will not eat. So let's try 3 times a week. So we started to give food 3 times.
Yes.
I was happy for 3 times. It was enough for me. Where you will eat tomorrow? I don't have a place to go. So we made 4 times, 5 times, now 6 times a week.
Yes.
I welcome volunteer. A person came and said, I'm a doctor. Among these people are many sick people. If you want, we can make clinic for these people. And we start a clinic.
Yes.
So little by little, stay with people, listening, they cry, they struggling. Anna's House is starting like this. Thanks so many generous people has been Anna's House.
It's sad in a way, but a very heart-warming story how you told us that you would ask someone, so what will you be eating tomorrow? And the answer was nothing. Where will we be staying tomorrow? No place. And so that gradually, so it grew into, I guess,
What we have today.
yes, what it has become today.
Similar experience has been for the teenagers. And one day, it was a very cold winter. I went to a place where there were my friends, homeless people, I knew them. There were 3 young, 15 years old boys. I said, what are you doing here? And they told me, we are run away from the house. In Korea was the first time I heard that word. I didn't know actually. Run away? Why? There was violence in the family. Did you eat? No. So come on, Anna's house, you can eat. And when they finished, bye, see you tomorrow. Bye, see you tomorrow. Where?
They were coming
Where
back?
they go? Where do you go? On the street. It's cold, it's dark, it's dangerous. It's not fair that young people stay on the street. We should do something. So we give food, we rent a very small house in basement, without money, without program, without no idea. Just say, do some things. And from that, little by little started what we have now. We have 4 houses for 3 children.
Yes.
Also that by chance, listening their needs, what they struggling. Anna's House has been always like this.
We've got more stories to share about the shelters that you are providing for these teenage children as well. But we'll continue with our interview after we take a look at a video of Father Kim Ha-jong's routine life. Here we go. As a leader of Anna's house, Father Kim Ha-jong has worked and prayed and spent each day with the routine that never changed over 20 years. Father Kim Ha-jong spends his entire day making the needy feel at home in the soup kitchen that opens from around lunchtime until 7:30 p.m. A sacrificial path that goes on in a faraway land from the motherland. How did it all get started? Father Kim Ha-jong tells us more. So at Ajit, you obviously spend your days and every moment of the day very busily. I'd like to ask you about how you are reaching out to these teenage runaways, these teenage children, homeless teenage children. What would you say is it that they need most from us?
They need just love and welcome. They never ask for money. Even though there are problems, there's something, never happen, they ask for money. I come here, there is employees, social workers, volunteers, they welcome me, they accept me, they love me. And they are really astonished for this, they appreciate a lot this.
Yes.
What we try, the first is welcome them.
Welcoming them. So you just mentioned Ajit, and it's actually a mobile shelter for these teenagers.
That's right.
It's short for 아이들을 지켜주는 지, and then 트럭, 아지트. So these are actually trucks
It's a bus.
move. They're
It's a
buses
bus.
that move from one place, from
That's
one
right.
location to another.
That's right.
And they're open
Yes.
to teenagers,
Yeah, that's right.
to anyone that
Bus,
wants to come.
since the bus is not big enough, every day we go out on the night, we meet an average, and beside we have two tents to welcome them because the bus will be not enough to welcome them.
I see. Is there a teenage child that you remember the most? I know these are difficult questions because there are so many, I'm sure. Is there a story that you could perhaps share?
A lot, really a lot. First of all, a very cold winter night. On the night, a girl, the last year of high school clothes, she said, may I have a coat? Of course, we give a coat, we start to speak. We give her food, ramyeon, some things to eat that day, also to bring home. And while she was leaving, she saw on the table the water, a bottle of water. She said, can I take water? She hadn't water to drink in the house. It was so painful that moment. We are in Korea, so modern, so rich society, and that girl, she had not the water to drink at home. Of course, we give water, food, clothes, but it was very, very touching moment. And there are so many boys and girls living like this, and that is a really painful experience. A teenagers cannot live on the street. He has the right to be loved, accepted, helped, educated, eating, clothing. Is his right.
Speaking of helping these children out, of course, we do have volunteers and people that are donating, sending in donations from everywhere. And I know that you have some very, very, touching stories related to people that have actually sent in donations in envelopes. Would it be okay for you to share with us a few of those stories as well?
Yes, it's very. I brought it with me because a very touching story. This is an envelope that I conserve like this. I keep like this. For example, this lady brought this one. Last year we were building the new house.
Yes,
We needed help. This lady knew about that, but she's a very poor lady. She's not married, no children, and she lived all the life working in the restaurant, cleaning the houses like this. And she came, when she knew about the new project, she said, I would like to help, but I don't know how to do. I don't have money. So she realized that she has a gold at home, like every woman. Bracelet, jewelry. She sold that. And she brought this money. It's a 2,056,000 won, that lady. She said, I would like to contribute with this. The only things I have, I don't need I don't need gold, I don't need anything. I would like to help the others. It's a really, really moving story.
And that was probably months and months of her
He-
salary.
all the life.
Yes.
All the life. She collects all the women. They have some rings,
Yes,
bracelets, and these. She
bracelets
sold
and-
everything to bring for the poor. This one. One day, as I usually do, I stay in front to greeting people
Yes.
coming. And that day there was a very young lady. I was astonished. It was the first time I saw her. I said, "Why you came?" "I'm angry. Can I eat?" "Of course, eat." And why you stay on the street? I said, "I don't have a place to go. I was looking around. I couldn't find a job. So if you want, I can introduce in a women's shelter. We have a men's shelter, women's shelter." "Yes, I like." So I brought her to a women's shelter. After a month, she came again. I saw her again in front of the door. And she gave me this one. "I would like to offer this. This is the first stipend I received. Since I entered in the shelter, I start to work, I earn money. This is the first."
So that's her first salary that she received,
And I asked, "Why you're doing this?" And she replied, "That day I was so desperate. I decided to sell myself on the street because I was 2 weeks without eating, on the street, suffering, no place to go. If I didn't meet you that day, I finished on the street with prostitutions. Thanks Hannah's house, I start a new life." So she brought this money. So there are many stories like this, really beautiful. Another one, this is a lady. This one is a lady that collect money on the street. She collect bottles,
Bottles,
sell.
cans,
She
recyclables.
recycling. She
I
learned
see.
this. Every month, she give a part of that money to Anna's house.
And you're not able to use that.
No,
You keep it in the envelope.
it's really. Anna's house exists because there are so many good people around. We don't know them. We don't realize that there are so many good people, but there are. Our society goes, even though there are many problems, the good people are much more than the bad people. Anna's house is a place people share their life, their dreams, what they have. Time is a really beautiful place.
Well, thank you for sharing these precious stories. I know that you have many more stories to
A
share,
lot,
but
plenty of this story.
yes, I can't help but think there are so many ways that you try to reach out to those that are in need of help. There are many that actually volunteer to help out as well. And Anna's house is running 24/7. It doesn't seem to rest, and you don't seem to rest either. And I want to ask you, don't you ever get tired?
Of course, I'm tired. For me, Anna's house is not a place where I work. It's my family. I love them. So ask to a mother, "Are you tired to care about your family, your children?" Of course, she's tired. But she
Yes.
does with joy, with love, and it's not so heavy as it seems to be. So it's a wonderful experience.
From the moment you arrived here in Korea, you decided that you would spend your entire life here, and you're actually even registered as an organ donor. So please tell us about that, and also tell us about what you hope for in the future.
First of all, I think the secret of happiness is a donate life. Much I give my life, much more I can receive. That is a secret, I think, of happiness. At the last moment also, I would like to give what I have, my body, my organs, because I think is the last moment, the last act of a volunteer I can do. For a human being, the death is the most painful, suffering moment.
Yes.
But in that moment, if you make organ donations, you can give life to the others. You can make happy the others. I think it's an experience of freedom, happiness, joy. So this is a way to say, I like Korea, I would like to stay all my life, and also behind of the life, with my eyes, with my heart, with my body.
This talk with you today made me think a lot about what I have done to help others. I'm sure that many of our viewers that are watching right now, there are many of them actually that have always had just this interest to volunteer and help others, but they may have not known how to or even where to begin. But we know that it's not as difficult as you may think. You have been a guardian angel to so many people for nearly 30 years, and we hope that you continue to spread your love and passion for these people for as long as you can. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you for the invite.
감사합니다.
감사합니다.